तो हेलो भाई गाइस, स्वागत है आप सभी का हमारी एक और नए वीडियो के अंदर। तो कैसे हो आप सभी लोग? आई होप सभी अच्छे होंगे। तो कैसे हो आप सभी लोग? आई होप अच्छे होंगे, सभी बढ़िया ठीक ठाक। तो आज करेंगे हम आगे की रीडिंग यहाँ से। पिछली वीडियो में हमने यहाँ तक ही स्टॉप कर दिया था, कहीं जाना था तो वहाँ चले गए थे। तो अब यहाँ से रीडिंग करते हैं आज। चाय पी लो भाई गाइस, ग्लासी तो अड्डी बढ़िया गाइस। चाय थोड़ी है लेकिन कमी पीना, कमी में पेट भर जाए। तो यहाँ से करेंगे रीडिंग चाय पीने के बाद। Water as part of the fundamental rights to life. Water is essential for life and for good health. Not only is it necessary for us to be able to meet our daily needs, but safe drinking water can prevent many water-related diseases. India has one of the largest number of cases of diseases such as the dysentery, cholera. Over 1,600 Indians, most of them children below the age of 5, reportedly die every day because of water-related diseases. These deaths can be prevented if people have access to safe drinking water. The Constitution of India recognizes the right to water as being a part of right to life under Article 21. This means that it is the right of every person, whether rich or poor, to have sufficient amounts of water to fulfill his or her daily needs at a price that she or he can afford. In other words, there should be universal access to water. There have been several court these cases in which both the High Court and the Supreme Court have held that the right to safe drinking water is a fundamental right. In 2007, the Andhra Pradesh High Court restarted this while hearing a case based on a letter written by a villager of Mehboob Nagar district on the contamination of drinking water. The villagers' complaint was that a textile company was discharging poisonous chemicals into a stream near his villages, contaminating groundwater, which was the source of irrigation and drinking water. The judges directed the Mehboob Nagar district collector to supply 25 liters of water to each person in the villages. ठीक है, अब करते हैं पब्लिक फैसिलिटीज. Like water, there are other essential facilities that need to be provided for everyone. Last year you read about 2 other such facilities, healthcare and sanitation. Similarly, there are things like electricity, public transport, schools and colleges that are also necessary. These are known as public facilities. The important characteristics of a public facility is that once it is proved, its benefits can be shared by many people. For instance, a school in the village will enable many children to get educated. Similarly, the supply of electricity to an area can be useful for many people. Farmers can run pump sets to irrigate their fields. People can open small workshops that run on electricity. Students will find it easier to study, and most people in the village will benefit in some way or the other. The government's role, given that public facilities are so important, someone must carry the responsibility of providing these to the people. This someone is the government. One of the most important functions of the government is to ensure that these public facilities are made available to everyone. Let us try to understand why the government must bear this responsibility. We have seen that private companies operate for profits in the market. You read about this in the chapter of the story of a shirt in your class 7th book. Is in most of the public facilities there is no profit to be had. For the drains. For example, what profits can accrue to a company for keeping the drains clean or running an anti-malaria campaign? A private company will probably not be interested in undertaking such work, but for other public facilities such as schools and hospitals, private companies may well be interested. We have many of these, particularly in large cities. Similarly, if you are living in a city, you will have seen private companies supplying water through tankers or supplying drinking water in sealed bottles. In such cases, private companies provided public facilities but at a price that only some people can afford. Hence, this facility is not available to all at an affordable rate. If we go to by the rule that people will get as much as they can pay for, then many people who can't afford to pay for such facilities will be deprived of the opportunity to live a decent life. Clearly, this is not a desirable option. Public facilities relate to people's basic needs. Any modern society requires that these facilities are provided so that people's basic needs are met. The right to life that the Constitution guarantees is for all persons living in this country. The responsibility to provide public facilities therefore must be that of the government. तो गाइज अब यहाँ से रीडिंग करेंगे. Water supply to Chennai, is it available to all? While there is no doubt that public facilities should be made available to all, in reality we see that there is a great shortage of such facilities. In the rest of the chapter we will read about the provision of water, which, as we have seen, in a public facility of great importance. Water supply in Chennai, as we saw at the beginning of the chapter, is marked by shortages. Municipal supply meets only about half the needs of the people of the city. On an average, there are areas which get water more regularly than others. Those areas that are close to the shortage points get more water, whereas colonials further away receive less water. The burden of shortfalls in water supply falls mostly on the poor. The middle class, when faced with water shortages, are able to cope through a variety of private means, such as digging borewells, buying water from tankers, and using bottled water for drinking. Apart from the availability of water, access to safe drinking water is also available to some, and this depends on what one can afford. Once again, the wealthy have more choices thanks to the booming market is in bottled water and water purifiers. People who can afford it have safe drinking water, whereas the poor are again let out. In reality, therefore, it seems that it is only people with money who have the right to water, a far cry from the goal of universal access to sufficient and safe water. तो गाइज अगली वीडियो में मिलते हैं इस पेज की रीडिंग के साथ. तो तब तक के लिए बाय बाय. और स्पोर्ट दिखा दो पूरी. और मैंने पहले भी बात कही थी, पता नहीं वो वीडियो डली है कि नहीं डली. ठीक है, क्योंकि शूटिंग करनी होती है ना वीडियो की, तो मतलब तो टाइम लग जाता है, तो इसीलिए पुरानी वीडियो डालनी पड़ती है कभी कभी. तो इसीलिए तो गाइस स्पॉट दिखा दो. एक भी हमारा जो सब्सक्राइबर बढ़ रहा है वो भी अच्छी बात है. जो भी हमारी वीडियो देखता है ना वो शेयर जरूर कर दा करो. ठीक है, धन्यवाद होएगा आप सभी का. ठीक है, आपका क्या जाता है यार, हमें पैसे मिल जाते हैं, हम इतनी मेहनत करते हैं, तो आपको भी थोड़ा स्पॉट दिखाना चाहिए ना. जो भी वीडियो देखता है इग्नोर मार देते हैं, अभी क्या है ये फालतू की वीडियो बना रहे हैं. फालतू की नहीं है, हम मतलब बेफालतू की वीडियो नहीं बनाते, काम की वीडियो है ये. ठीक है, ये सभी के लिए है, चाहे वो अनपढ़ भी हो उसके लिए भी है, क्योंकि वो पढ़ लेगा तो कुछ तो उसे समझ में आएगा. ठीक है, तो इसीलिए तो कल मिलते हैं इस उसके साथ रीडिंग के साथ. तो बाय बाय.